Ralph Wilkerson and Al Haas founded Haas and Wilkerson Insurance in 1937. In 1939, a canvas tent manufacturer in Kansas City referred a traveling carnival in southern Illinois to Ralph's agency. Word spread among the amusement industry that a new insurance market was available, and Haas and Wilkerson Insurance quickly became the nation's leading insurer of amusement operations. Ralph and June Wilkerson's son, Bill, was born on May 21, 1946, in Kansas City, Missouri. Bill loved sports and the outdoors and graduated from the University of Kansas. An avid golfer, skier, and outdoorsman, Bill believed those activities were a great way to spend time with all his family and friends. Bill went to work at the Haas and Wilkerson Agency.
Mobile amusement rides and concessions are family businesses. Current owners are very proud of their businesses and the legacy that their parents left. I think every father dreams of having a son or daughter take an interest in the business and become an owner. Bill Wilkerson was a fortunate man. In 1970, he joined his father, Ralph, who started the Haas-Wilkerson Insurance Agency in 1939. And 4 years ago, his untimely death transitioned Ryan Wilkerson, his son, into his position in the business. I know Bill enjoyed tremendously working with Ryan and preparing him to take over the business because Bill and I talked about it. Bill Wilkerson displayed some very important characteristics as a businessman. The one I remember the most, I think, is the way Bill Wilkerson listened. I know he listened to me. I know he internalized what I said because years later we'd have a conversation and Bill would recall something that we had discussed. Bill was a compassionate person. I think he cared equally about his employees, his customers, and the insurance agencies, and insisted upon integrity and dealing fairly with all of those people. Bill Wilkerson was a man of great integrity and truthfulness, and if it required that he lose a sale because he was honest and open and forthcoming with those he dealt with, then so be it. He lost the sale. Bill Wilkerson gave generously of his money, his time, his resources, his business, to his profession, and to this industry. They were the hallmark of Bill Wilkerson.
Bill personally developed the Fairs and Festivals program. In the late 1970s, he was asked to speak at an IAFE convention on the emerging coverage for directors and officers' liability. After the convention, he began getting calls from fair managers all over the country because they were having insurance issues. Bill solved their problems, and today, Haas and Wilkerson Insurance still serves many of its original customers from the late 70s.
I'm with Gopher State Expositions, and we have been in business for 60 years, and our insurance company has been Haas and Wilkerson ever since our existence. But I remember Ralph, actually, was even one of our agents, and then Phil Colson took over, and from there it just kind of handed down. And now Dave Garrett is ours also. But I've known Bill Wilkerson for quite a few years. And our association with Haas and Wilkerson has been a very good one. And we hope it stays that way.
He particularly enjoyed leading the company with his brother-in-law, Philip Colson, who was married to Bill's sister, Jan. Bill rose to the position of president and CEO and led the organization during a period of great growth. He was actively involved in many associations, such as the Outdoor Amusement Business Association, the International Association of Fairs and Expositions, and the Showman's League of America. He was greatly honored in 2003 to serve as the chairman of the Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers. In his role, he led the annual meeting in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, and had the honor of introducing keynote speakers, former presidents George Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton, in front of a crowd of over 1,000 people. After introducing President Bush, Barbara Bush was overheard telling her husband that he had a tough act to follow. Bill was also noticed for his entertaining introductions of speakers at the IAFE conventions, including one year Marquette University basketball coach Al McGuire.
Bill Wilkerson. My gosh, I thought he knew everybody. I thought he was on first name terms with everybody. Haas Wilkerson sponsored the keynote speakers for the IFE convention for years. And Bill would come out and do the smoothest introductions you've ever seen. No notes, nothing. He just talked about these people, and I was convinced he knew them. Got a little older and realized that wasn't quite the case, but I'd see him before the meetings, before he'd go out and do the intros. He'd just engage these folks, and a lot of them were pretty high-test people. And he'd talk to them like they were next-door neighbors, and learn all about them, write nothing down, and go out and give the most wonderful introductions you've ever seen. You know how speaker introductions can be. They're a lot of times they're duller than dirt, but boy, Bill, what an amazing guy.
Bill was a devoted fan of Kansas athletics and a big contributor to scholarship funds at the university. Bill Wilkerson spent his last days visiting with friends and clients at the Gibtown Trade Show and Convention. He passed away unexpectedly the day he returned home from the convention, February 7th, 2004, at the age of 57. He is survived by his wife Patty and his children, Kim, 34, an educator in Steamboat Springs, Colorado; Ryan, 31, president and CEO of Haas & Wilkerson Insurance; Laura, 21, and Grant, 19, both students at the University of Kansas; his extended family, and countless associates and friends.
It's a very interesting story that goes from the beginning of the Wilkerson family right up to today. In the early days when the Wilkersons settled in Missouri, they had a big cast iron bell outside the back door of the farmhouse. It may have even been a sod house with a sod roof. I don't remember for sure. And Grandmother Wilkerson would ring the bell and call the family and the hired hands in from the fields when it was mealtime. That bell found its way to Kansas City, and Bill Wilkerson's mother had it in her backyard and rang the bell to call Bill in for lunch or to call Bill in for dinner after school. When Bill's father, Ralph, when Ralph's house was sold, Ryan Wilkerson, Bill's son, had that bell moved to the main lobby of the Haas & Wilkerson building. And now, instead of calling Bill home for lunch or dinner, that bell is rung to announce the hiring of a new employee or the acquisition of a new customer or important things that affect the whole Haas & Wilkerson family. And that family is so grateful to the OABA for bestowing this honor on Bill. We appreciate it so much, and we know it's very deserved. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bill. I know you're here with us today. Congratulations on being named to the OABA Hall of Fame.
William Ralph Wilkerson III, inducted into the Outdoor Amusement Business Association Hall of Fame, February 9th, 2008.